Okay. Chris,
All ready? Here we go. Good morning for 99.5 FM WGRB and our Facebook Live audience. You are joining now the daily briefing from the Emergency Operations Center. We go first to Greene County Mayor Kevin Morrison.
Good morning, Ron, and good morning, Greene County. I want to start this morning by speaking or updating you just a little bit with the disaster declaration that has blanketed Greene County. Of course, beginning with the beginning of this disaster, Greene County was initially left off of the disaster declaration. That has been corrected, and as of yesterday, um, individual assistance as well as general business assistance was approved in the disaster declaration, making it a full blanket disaster declaration. So for those that are trying to get onto the FEMA website and begin to apply for aid through FEMA and this disaster declaration, you should be able to do that in all zip codes across Greene County. The other thing that I would like to address with regard to the ongoing disaster across Greene County is social media has falsely reported in several instances that agents of TEMA, the state organization, the Tennessee Emergency Management Association, and FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, that agents of those two organizations have been closing down donation centers and confiscating donated items or monetary gifts. Um, this is not true. No agency of our local, state, or federal government is going to interrupt the humanitarian donation or aid process in Greene County, and they have not to date. We have had reports that there are individuals, and as we begin to rebuild and with debris disposal and things like that, that the increased likelihood is that there will be scams afoot for to take advantage of people's misery, and those individuals, if they're caught, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So, Sheriff, do you need to talk any more on that?
I think that's sufficient.
So, if they may have, no one is going to come to your home. No one is going to come to your business or donation location from any agency of the government and say that you have to shut down or forfeit your donated items. That is any legitimate or state or government organization is not going to do that. If that is the case, please get in contact with us here at the EOC as soon as possible. 798-1729 or call 911 and report this if they have or present that they're impersonating agents of the government. We go to utilities. The Greenville Energy Authority reported this morning at 8 a.m. that they did not have any customers across Greene County without power, which was a welcome announcement. I'm going to turn it over to Greenville Water Commission Director Laura White, and she's going to give an update on the pumping operation at the river and the status of the utilities coming back online with pumping water.
Thank you, Kevin. As many of you are aware, we were able to restore service to the majority of the town of Greenville yesterday. We're still pumping about 8.5 million gallons from the river right now to fill our reservoirs, and we're pumping out water to fill the tanks. After speaking with our distribution coordinator this morning, our tanks are about a third of the way full, which they need to be a lot more than that before we can actually start turning the utility districts back on. If you're in the town of Greenville and you've had water since yesterday, it's perfectly okay to turn your hot water heaters back on and your ice makers and things like that back on. However, there is still a boil water advisory in effect, and this is for the whole county. If you've had water all week in the county, you still need to abide by this boil water notice because the system had lost pressure. We're required by the state of Tennessee, by TDEC, to issue these boil water notices. It's just for your safety. Uh, you're still okay for washing laundry, taking showers, that type of stuff. But if you're going to brush your teeth or any kind of consumption, if you're brushing your teeth, we recommend using bottled water for consumption. You need to get that water to a rapid boil for 3 to 5 minutes. Like I said, this is issued for the whole county right now, and we just ask that you still consider your neighbors, and we need a conservation effort still. And don't go wild and wash every load of clothes in your house right now. Just kind of conserve a little bit if you can. And as far as the utilities are concerned, I'm going to turn it over to Chad Wampler, who is the director of Cross Anchor Utilities.
As soon as we start receiving water from Greenville, we've got to come up with a plan for the utilities in the county that we will not hurt districts from Greenville getting water. If we pull too fast, we're just going to get ourselves right back in the same situation we was in to start with. Nobody's going to have water. So we're going to try to come up with a plan of action to do this. And once we get water back into the county, we are still going to issue the boil water notice for the whole districts because there's so much sediment that's going to be coming loose in our pipes that we've got to get all that flushed out, everything back up in line. We've got to pull multiple samples. That way we make sure everything is safe. Just please try to conserve water once we do get it back into the county. Otherwise, we're going to be right back in the same situation we was when we started. It's going to take everybody's effort to work together to get this done. Because we are doing stuff that is unprecedented. We've never had a situation where our whole systems are dry and starting back from zero. So it's just going to take time to work with everybody. Mayor.
Chad, thank you. So again, there is a boil water notice in place, and it will stay in place for quite some time. So that is for consumption water. So anything that you're consuming, get to a rolling boil for 3 to 5 minutes, and that will stay in place for quite some time, and that is countywide. Once again, to sort of reiterate, the water system as it is coming back on is sort of a delicate startup process, and the worst possible outcome that we could have is to have to shut down the system again because of that delicate process. So again, we stress, continue to conserve water until we can fully announce that we've got the system back online, that the tanks are full, the system has been pressurized and checked, and we don't have any major issues going forward. Other utility districts, obviously, with issues going forward will be the Chuckey Utility District to the southeastern section of the county, as they work very diligently as we speak to restore water and get a temporary line underneath the river in their district area, as well as the Glen Hills Utility District, which has transmission pipes across Jones Bridge Road and Birds Bridge. Until we're able to charge the system, I know that those utility districts have reported they do not know if they have any type of issues with those transmission pipes with regard to breakage or leakage. So there may be some areas still without water. But we will work diligently to get everyone with water back online as soon as possible, and know that there's a lot of people working on that right now. Transitioning now to roads and bridges. The Greene County Highway Department reported this morning that there are 6 roads across the county that are currently impassable. As far as bridge network, the Highway 70 bridge and the Newport Highway bridge remain open, and TDOT has informed us that Jones Bridge would be opening at 11 a.m. this morning. as light and power crews are cleared from the deck of the bridge that have been there with their transmission lines to go across the bridge to restore power. So once those are moved, the paving is in place, the bridge has been inspected, and will be opened at 11 a.m. today. Transitioning to debris and trash and and flood equipment removal, the landfill and transfer station will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and the convenience centers will add 2 hours to the current hours that are in place normally. So to better make it more convenient for that, of course, is household trash and recyclables and small amounts of demolition waste and metal. We are setting up a debris collection site, a mass debris collection site at 4575 Old Asheville Highway. We will have that operational shortly for flood waste, and that will be segregated and then sent to the appropriate location, whether it's to the demolition landfill here in town or it's to another outside vendor or carrier. So that location will be 4575 Old Asheville Highway, and that's directly across from or in the vicinity of the wastewater treatment plant and the tobacco experiment station on the Old Asheville Highway. Transitioning to water and help. Currently, the water pods will be operational today, and we will operate one at the airport on a limited basis tomorrow. Let me turn this over to you, Todd, and you can brief the water plan.
Yes, Mayor, really quick. The water operations today will be at 3 to 5 at all of our 5 sites across the county. And then tomorrow we will have a point of distribution at the airport. And that is from 9 to 12 tomorrow morning at the Greenville Municipal Airport. We will have distribution of water. And let me just reiterate, we've got plenty of bottled water on hand. As the water system transitions back, we will keep distribution sites open just in case there are any hiccups, but we do want to keep plenty of water on site, and we will have distribution sites continue to operate, maybe on a scaled down basis starting next week, but we will continue to operate.
All right, thank you, Todd. As for assistance, our emergency medical services has set up a substation at the Marathon Station on the south side of the river on the Highway 107. That will be established today, and that station will be manned going forward to better provide response times to those residents in and around the southeastern section of the county. As far as help, we have a volunteer donation coordinator and coordination team on the ground here at the EOC that is receiving donations, water, pet food, baby formula, diapers and wipes, and a degree of other sundry items available for distribution. And those will be that donation center will be announced soon. I know there are a number of faith-based organizations and churches that are working at Trinity United Methodist Church, Walter State Community College, Greenville High School, and First Baptist Church of Greenville, along with a number of organizations out in the county that are distributing sundry items for anyone needing those. All right. As far as business and industry, I'll let Laura address some information that we just got on industries and restaurants.
We have spoken with the health department and the commerce department, and industries and restaurants within the town of Greenville are being opened up as water service is being restored. However, the restaurants, they need to abide by health department regulations due to the boil water notice being in effect. And also, just to reiterate, you know, if you've had water since yesterday, it will be okay to turn your hot water heaters on now, and ice makers, things like that. So,
Hold notice, ice makers.
even with the boil notice, they've not said. I mean, you can just turn them back on. You know, I guess with the boil notice, you probably shouldn't use it yet, but it's okay to just let them run and run some ice through them. Maybe run and dump, and then whenever the boil water notice is lifted, we can let you know that it's safe for consumption. And I would like to also say that we do appreciate all of the outpouring of community support for the Water Commission. These guys have worked diligently around the clock and to restore this service. And you know, there's been so many volunteers and so many offers of help, and we just really appreciate everything the community has done for us.
Thank you, Laura. Also, as a point of note, per Commerce and Insurance, any hair salons, barber shops, and spas or businesses of that nature need to use their best judgment um, on what services they can provide while the water situation is still delicate. I know there's a certain amount of sterilization that's required in those types of businesses, but you're asked to use a best judgment in servicing your customers as you go forward. Our state and local officials, as well as our federal officials, have all been here to the area. Uh, of course, you might have noticed that a number of individuals here this morning were absent yesterday. We had a visit from Governor Bill Lee here to survey the damage and meet with victims directly associated with the flood. Uh, we were here at the EOC, and for him to inspect our operation here and give our first responders a level of enthusiasm and confidence. And we transitioned down to the Trinity United Methodist Church to see the donation center there and all of the help and outpouring from the community that's going on there for victims needing items and assistance there. Um, the day prior, I was also with Congresswoman Harshbarger, who has been to the area and given a very similar level of confidence, enthusiasm going forward, and have given their assurances, as well as Senator Blackburn's office and Senator Haggerty's office, that they will do whatever they can to make sure that Greene County is made whole as we begin to continue to recover. So, the as Laura stated earlier, I don't know that I've ever seen an outpouring support, of love and mercy like I have witnessed during this entire event. Our our public utilities have worked tirelessly. 1 week ago, this moment, it was raining cats and dogs, and a lot of people would not be able to sleep in their homes when the sun went down 1 week ago this evening. Uh, the When the sun came up 1 week ago Saturday, there were more than 10,000 people without power, and the entire county utility network, as far as water goes, was completely compromised. Our utilities, our linemen, our utility technicians and maintenance folks have worked tirelessly 24 hours a day around the clock to restore those services and have done so in a period of less than 5 days. That is an incredible effort given the magnitude of this flood. We were advised by a TVA on Thursday that this was once in a 10,000 year event. So I told the group this morning in the EOC that you could carry a flood policy for 10,000 years and it would never pay off until it paid off this week. Um, but it's an incredible amalgamation of individuals, of businesses, of faith-based organizations, civic clubs, and different organizations coming together to get us back on our feet. And we're in this together, and we'll get through it together. So, Ron, subject to any questions that you all might have, we're Sheriff.
I just want to reiterate here to those that are out there that have property damage, you're going to hire a contractor to come in. Make sure that contractor is state licensed, make sure they are current and valid with the state of Tennessee, and make sure they have insurance. We've started to see, we got a complaint yesterday about some people going around that have credentialing or badges that look similar to TEMA and FEMA. Take a picture of those badges. Ask to take a picture of those badges. Send that to our Facebook page. We'll verify if that's correct or not. If you can, if you kind of think they're a little shady, get a photo with their tag. We need that. But we don't want to see anybody during their lowest year end up scammed out of property. And it usually happens during a disaster that this happens. People will come in and take advantage of people because they know the FEMA money and different monies are coming into our county. So please be aware of that. As Ron reported earlier, we are shut down on 208. And as I've said many times, we've become the new I-40, I-26 for anybody going into North Carolina. So it is shut down. There was a tractor trailer wreck on the Madison County side. We need to be aware of that because that's going to back up traffic plumb back into Greenville. We're trying to divert tractor trailers right now. Hopefully that'll be cleared up in about 3 or 4 hours is what the sheriff in Madison County told me. They hope to get that tractor trailer upright. And he has concerns because if you've traveled across the mountain and you know how 208 is, it's hard for two tractor trailers to pass over there on that narrow roadway. So be advised of that. As the mayor said, and others have said, I'm so proud of Greene County, proud to live here. We've stood strong, and we're Greene County strong.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Mayor, if I could ask.
Sir.
Because the topic today is water, and not to single out any individuals, but today I do want to single out two people. Scott Naswanger made sure water came in. Alan Johnson made sure there would be diesel for the pumps. Can you speak to those two and what they have offered to this community to get us back on?
Well, I know that that early on in the disaster, Scott had called me. Many business leaders have reached out to us here and said, Mayor, what can we do to help? And one of those that has been with us every step of the way here in the EOC, working the phones, working his connections, and getting us some relief supplies that otherwise we wouldn't have had is Mr. Niswanger. And I know that he had asked me early on if we needed some tractor trailer loads of water, and I said, Scott, if we could get a couple, that would be great. He said, well, what about 20? Can we get 20? Um, and we've absolutely worked as a team under his leadership in order to get that. And I think as of right now, we have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50,000 cases of water. Is that not right? Two different locations. So he has been instrumental in getting that. Of course, with everything, there seems to be somewhat of a delay and a little bit of bureaucracy, but Scott, in his wisdom, has been able to erase all of that and get that aid and those things in place very quickly. And for that, we are grateful and should be. Alan Johnson with Greenville Oil has also helped our first responders with fuel and donations. I know I just got a text message here um, from his operations manager, Mark at Greenville Oil, and they are going to be distributing free cases of water at their stores south of the river. So, business, industry, individuals have stepped up. I know another great business leader that has been with us here every minute, every step of the way is Mr. Jeff Idell in Idell Construction, a very reputable builder and has been for 40 years here in the Greenville, Greene County area, and he's the leader of our donation volunteer coordination team, along with Jeff Taylor, Mark Wills, and Pastor Robert Jennings. They have absolutely done a phenomenal job coordinating and managing all of the overwhelming donations that are coming in. So when you have food or water in this case, uh, fuel and bullets, we can put up a pretty good fight against any enemy. And thanks to at least those three, and there are many more. PepsiCo and other companies that have donated water and pallets of water. But you have to have the coordination and the logistical support to get it where it needs to go. And at least those three men right there have been instrumental in helping us get those items out and circulated into the community where they're needed. And I'm sure they have assured me that that they're not going to stop. That it will become our responsibility to help our neighbors in Unicoi and Carter and North Carolina, and we'll do so as we sort of continue our rebuilding and recovery process here. So we've got a great community, and we can't say enough about it. So
Anything else from the panel today?
yeah, Laura,
All right.
we're good. Ron, thank you, sir.